It's 2019. I'm on the road. I'd just spent the last 6 weeks based in Herberton. My home had been the Wild River Caravan Park. I was beginning to feel at home, I was beginning to feel too comfortable, and I was getting itchy feet. The weather, for much of the time, had been drizzly, and I figured it was time to move on. Then the tooth decided to fall apart, and that meant a couple of visits to a dentist to sort that out. On top of that, I had wrenched my knee taking a tumble at David Creek Falls a few weeks earlier. My recovery was now complete. Well, sort of. And I made the decision to move on. All I needed to do was drive out the gate. Well, it's 11:43 on the 3rd of July 2019, and I made the decision last night to move. I was getting too comfortable, and I was thinking, oh, maybe the next day, maybe the next day, maybe the next day. Decision had to be made, and then it was more a matter of, rather than a decision having to be made, it had to be acted upon. In other words, we needed to be proactive. As I said to someone this morning, it doesn't matter if I only get an hour out and stop. The main thing is going out of the gate. Because until I drive out with the van on out of the gate, then I sort of remain transfixed. So from here, where do we go? I was going to go into Atherton and go around the other way back out, but it doesn't matter which way you go. It's pretty windy one way and another. And I did do that trip back in the other day. Came out here and went back into Atherton along the other road. So I figured, well, I'll go back out this way again, and we'll head down towards the Undara turnoff and the Burke Development Road. And then we'll see where we go from there. I don't know whether we'll get that far tonight, but we'll see what happens. Yesterday the car turned over 540,000 kilometres. And as it did, the timing belt light came on. And I thought, well, that's not quite right. So anyway, I gave a quick ring back to Albany and confirmed what I had in front of me on an invoice, that no, it's obviously when we've reset the meter, we didn't reset it right. It's not due till 600,000, so either ignore it or turn it off. So I've done a Google, and I might sit down when I get to wherever I'm going today and reset the thing back to 600,000. So this is our last look at Herberton for this trip. Beautiful little place. And that caravan park's a ripper. I love it. If I had to live somewhere permanently, that would be good. It's only 16k into Atherton from here. I didn't go to the camera place. At $25 or something or other to go through and have a look at the spy cameras. And I figured in the long run, I don't know. I had other expenditure that I hadn't counted on that was happening, and some that I was trying to manage, and it's all sort of come up at once. So maybe this has helped us through a bit, but the credit card is still bloody steep. But okay, with a tooth and with a knee and another set of tyres on the car, well, another couple of tyres on the car. So that is Herberton and Atherton for 2019. Okay, so I'm going to give way to this bloke. I did wonder whether I could beat him, but then again I saw the giveaway sign and I thought, oh, maybe. No. My stop. I downloaded some new maps from Explorers, the topo maps, and I'm running on the Queensland one at the moment, and so far it looks okay. There's always a problem getting back up to speed again when you grind to a halt. These sorts of roads you can generally pull up pretty well in around about the 70 to 80 mark, but if your revs are down too low, it doesn't like it. Won't pull. Need to have your revs around about 2,400, 2,200, 2,400 for it to maintain an even pull going, I found. There's probably a heap of places I could have visited while I was here. I mean, places like Green Springs and that sort of thing, whatever Green Springs is. But it's been overcast and drizzly and that for much of the time I've been here. And then in a couple of days I did decide to stop and watch TV because I wanted to watch my motor racing or whatever it was. In those days it was fine, of course, naturally. Anyway, that's okay. Big little equestrian centre just here. It's rather ironic that the day I leave, it's the sort of weather I was sort of hoping for most of the time I was up here, but that's the way it is. Been odd weather patterns all across the country. Southwest of WA have drowned, northwest of WA have been dry. Western Queensland, they lost all these cattle, and yet in other parts it's very much drought conditions. This first hour or so is going to be a matter of getting used to the feel of the car and the van again. And at the moment you can sit the odd lurch and you think, oh, what's that? But then as you get used to the lurches and that sort of thing, then you settle into it. I found that last weekend going out to where did they go to? Chilligo. But by the time I got back I was feeling fairly comfortable, but just got to sort of get back into the rhythm of it again more than anything else. These roads here are very up and down and around and about. We're now approaching the main Ravenshoe Mariba Road. And then we go into that twisty bit that when we came into Atherton, or into this turn-off up here, came off the side road and it wound around, and it was fairly scary because it was bloody wet and it was slippery. And it wound a lot. They refer to it as fog up here, but in reality it's clouds. Which is the same thing, I guess. So Atherton to the left and Ravenshoe to the right up here. As it says there, the Misty Mountains. This is right on the corner. Ravenshoe 22. They don't build too many of those lay-bys so you can pull over to let people through, that's for sure. Okay, so where we came in is to the right, through Tamoolan. We're going to keep going now, this time, through Evelyn Central. Actually came up here, that piece of road just up the top there is the tallest road in Queensland apparently. Tallest official road anyway. We came out here as far as Evelyn Hall the other day and had a look. Back in 2010, Leslie and I actually backed the caravan in there and stayed there overnight. Yeah, we can do 100. We're doing 63. That'll do me. Now we're all in cleared land and just beautiful country up here. Beautiful. And there to the left of us is the Evelyn Hall. And we actually backed in alongside of it. It's for sale. We actually backed in alongside of that back in 2010 and stayed there for the night. Now then, what's going on down here? Which way do we go? I assume we go straight on. The map shows me that it takes me down to the Tamoolan Road. Haven't been through there. Oh well, doesn't matter. There's a few vans around. Miller and Innisfail to the left, and Mount Garnet and Ravenshoe straight on. On the wind farm here. Lovely view ahead of us. So this is Ravenshoe, Queensland's tallest town, it says, or highest town. Remains of a shop there that got blown up when a guy drove into the gas tanks. Tallest hotel, the highest hotel in Queensland. So that's Ravenshoe. Cool Moon Hotel, Motel. Straight onto the Misty Mountains, apparently. It's 146 to the turn off. Yeah, I wonder if they've got a roadhouse here or not. Looks like they've got something happening. It's 12:32. Okay, it's 1:15 and just leaving the roadhouse there. I was talking to a guy, he pulled up alongside of us, who owns a Billabong caravan. He doesn't see many of them, he reckons, and he hadn't seen one with the back sloped up the way this one is. So had a bit of a chat about that. He's from Adelaide, working his way up and then heading back down through New South Wales, back across through Broken Hill back towards Adelaide from there by the end of the year. Driving a Mitsubishi, and before he left he went into the dealer and said, now is there anything at all that you know about that could go wrong on this trip? And they said no, everything's right, should be fine. So he gets into Mary Kathleen Mine and suddenly he's got no steering wheel, he's had a problem, and there they are in the middle of nowhere, no one around, with a car that's not going anywhere in a hurry. It turns out that the dealer's had a fix for it, but they only do anything about it if there's a problem, which of course can be in the wrong place all the time. So yeah, what do you do? It turns out it's an O-ring, that's all it was, it needed to be replaced. Now why they couldn't have done that, who knows. Turn off in the Millstream Park, it's just down the road here. Old military area during the war, as was most of this through here. And the Millstream Falls are the apparently the widest falls in Australia. You can have a look at it back in 2010. I'm going to be at Archer Creek a lot earlier than what I sort of anticipated, so I think I just might keep running for the moment. He was telling me about a road that goes out towards Tully Falls, but there's a turn off before that. He said you go through basically a tunnel of the jungle to a place that's called Tully Gorge, and he said he's flown over the Grand Canyon in America. He said, and this place took his breath away even more, impressed him even more than what the Grand Canyon did. It's interesting. I heard a chicken focaccia back there. Cost $7.50. There was no way it was worth that, I don't reckon, but anyway, it was what it was. And I don't know that I'd recommend it to anyone else. Coming down to Archer Creek, I think. Fairly steep hill here, and they've got someone right up Sotheby right. At 1:30 and we're going to keep moving. The place is pretty well populated actually. It is well populated. Oh, this is the Billabong caravan. I know you're there. It's just a matter of trying to find somewhere for you to let you go past.
Yeah, so from top of this next ridge, it's a nice long downhill section on the other side.
With your luck, there'll be someone coming the other way. Okay, there's a lay-by just here. I'm going to just ease into it as you go. Go past me. No props, have a good day, mate.
Hey, you too.
This is on at Hot Springs. Okay, this should be Mount Garnet. Now there's the Waruma Swamp Road. I wonder what the road's like out there. Okay, we're heading down the Waruma Swamp Road. I don't know whether this is a wise thing or not, but that's what we're doing. Now, how does this work? Tells us nothing. So we had to open the gate and come through and travel down to the swamp. Just hope we can turn around when we get there. We should be able to. It doesn't say anything about not taking caravans in there, so we'll see what happens. Now this supplies the town with water. It also stays wet long after everything else is dried up. And it's also great for water birds and things apparently, so we shall see. Sign back there saying if you see anything don't touch it. Unexploded, there's potential for unexploded ordnance in here, so might have been used as a practice range or something during the war. Right. Yes, I was pointing back in the right direction to start with. Ooh. Well, it's a lone egret right in the middle of the picture there. Other than that, there's not much of wildlife around at all, by the looks of things. Well, that's Waruma Swamp. I guess when things are buzzing it would buzz, but at the moment it's I saw a few of the water lilies and I saw one bird. There were a couple of others, but they disappeared very quickly. So there's not a lot here just at the moment. At certain times of the year there are literally thousands of black swans on the waters. At the moment, nah, well, not over this side anyway. Okay, so then let's keep moving. So the remnants of the old mine are still in evidence around the place. Little left, but there's enough to show the scale of the operation at the turn of the century. But after 1904, the miners turned their attention to the excavation of tin. So if you're looking for gold, or you're a gem fossicker, Mount Garnet's the place to come to, apparently. There's not a lot there of promise to make it worthwhile trying to go for a wander anywhere to see if we could see anything else. Maybe it's just the wrong time of the year or something. Answered one question, you can get a caravan in there. You can turn it around. And the road, certainly at the moment, is good. Okay, so we're back in town again. Between 2 and 4 it's 40 kilometres an hour, and it's 2:20, so it's 40 kilometres an hour past the school. Top Shop News Agency and Bakery. Information Centre and Museum. Cop Shop. This hill reminds me, and I keep saying this, I've said it before, but it reminds me of Ravenshoe in the old days. Pub halfway down the hill, church on that side. Supermarket. Post office. There's the pub over there on the right. Mount Garnet Hotel. Historic mining area is out there to the right. Tractor there for sale, 23,000 if you want one. Hotel and roadhouse. One lane bridge and 120 metres. Yeah, what's that thing? Is that for sale? Yeah, that mobile crane thing's for sale. Okay. Not much water in the creek. Zilch, in fact. To the right goes to Lappa Junction. Tabo Village is a kilometre down the road. It's where you leave your extra trailers. I think from here on in they're allowed to take longer trailers, I think, from here. Now it's Surprise 122. We actually turn off to go there. And we're on a road train route. So that, my friends, was Mount Garnet. That's the races and rodeo ground there. Rodeo is big in North Queensland, well, in Queensland, I think. Oh, roadworks. Are we going to get there in time, or are we going to have to stop?
Just got another one coming, mate. Right to tag him in there? Yeah, tag him through. Okay, buddy. Make it 4. Copy 4.
Thanks, guys.
Too easy, mate.
Oh, they're cutting the bridge in half.
Copy 1.
Okay, he's got a split aircon on board, that one. Be a nice quiet air conditioner.
Yeah, received your signal, mate. Holding 0.
Well, okay, I'm not going past him. Stay behind. Truck can go quicker than what I want to go. What's the truck doing? He's got his lights going on and off. The bloke with the lightweight caravan, he's off. Truck that just had a caravan come past you the other way. I'm in a car with a caravan behind it. Do you copy? You got another car going past you now.
Yeah, mate.
Do you know that your tail lights are flickering all the time?
Yeah, what caravans are on, mate?
Sorry?
Yeah, what caravan?
No, we just came through where they're repairing the bridge, and you've just had a caravan go past you, and I'm behind you right now.
Yeah, mate, no, just all the front road and corrugation and shit. Fucking probably fucking the plug a bit, that's all, mate.
No, that's fair enough. I just wondered whether you knew, that's all. It's just that they're flicking on and off all the time, that's all.
Yeah, mate, no, all good.
No props, good on you. Road up to the right here goes across to Herberton and then Chilligo. That's where our truck's gone somehow. There's an awful lot of dust. The 40 Mile Scrub National Park is on the right hand side. And according to the map in front of me, there's a camping area just here. Park. Yeah, there's already people in there by the looks of things. Well, they're pulled up. Don't know if there's a toilet there. I know there is one at the Kennedy turn-off. I think we'll go for that. Signs telling people to drive on which side of the road. We got our turn-off coming up us down here. Right is the Savannah Way, and straight on is the Great Inland Way. Well, that looked like a sort of animal that we can't afford to lose. Oh, there's a heap of caravans parked over the road here. Millions of them. Yeah, that was worthwhile. Comfort stop and deal with a little bit of messaging and that sort of thing. Funnily enough, the straight-on traffic is supposed to give way. Crazy. But there you go. Okay, that's where we came up, that road that we just turned off of. We're now on a new road altogether for this trip. This is the one that goes across to Normanton. 57 to Mount Surprise. Yundara turn-off is just down here somewhere. There's a rest area just over the road from that truck stop, and it is pretty well populated. We will be looking for something that is a little more solitary. It's nearly 4 o'clock here, so I'd say next half hour we'll pull up somewhere. I keep forgetting I've got bananas there. Anyway, they're edible at the moment. They were a bit green when I bought them. Lady fingers they are, little ones. So we enter the Etheridge Shire, having just passed a whole heap of cattle on the side of the road. Longhorns. I don't know what breed they are, but they're cattle with long horns. And this is just Savannah country that we're into now. Once again retracing part of the Savannah Way. Whoa, cattle right on the edge of the road. Fortunately it ran up the bank, not out onto the road. Didn't realise till the last minute what it was. All I saw was a brown rump. But it could have been a termite mound. Because there's plenty of those along here. and the cattle were on either side of the road, so it can be a scary prospect. You've got to keep your eyes and ears wide open. Undurra Volcanic National Park, 500 metres to the left. You turn off in 500 metres. Everything in there. We've been in there a couple of times as well, so we won't be going in there this trip either. Did it in 2010, 2013. Now there's a decent sized van as well. They came up this way 5 weeks ago on the other road. All the stuff on the side of the road was green and it was wet underneath, so you weren't game to go off-road. It's looking pretty dry now, so should be a little easier to find somewhere to stop for the night. Yeah, they're just grazing on the side of the road. All that bush to graze in, but they've got to do it right on the edge of the road. It's amazing. On both sides of the fence there. So we got someone parked up on the left hand side of us over there. Looks a bit like a horse float type thing actually. But the point being is that we will park far enough away from them so it's not to be a nuisance. And there's a mine in there somewhere. Okay. If you enjoyed this video, there are over 400 more just like it on this channel. Subscribe and hit the notification bell and we'll let you know when our next video is available. If you like the video, hit the like button and maybe even leave a comment. If you weren't too impressed, the dislike button tells us absolutely nothing. So tell us why, so that we can do something about it. Thanks for watching.